Rams house, welcome into a brand new episode of the Rams Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jackson Durham, and to be honest with you guys, the focus of today's episode, at least the first half of it, shifted at the last minute because of some breaking news. A new report that just came in around Trent McDuffie and what the Rams plan to do around him. The original focus was going to be free agency targets, and we are going to hit that on the back end of today's show. But this breaking news, this breaking report really is something we've got to talk about. And anytime there's breaking news around the Rams, we make a video. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button because over the next couple of days, guys, there's going to be a lot of news. Free agency kicks off tomorrow. The legal tampering window begins. Teams can start talking to guys. They can start negotiating deals. And even though they're not official until Wednesday, we all kind of know that they are official. I know the Rams are going to get some done. Hopefully with some of the guys we're going to talk about in today's episode. But let's kick things off with the Trent McDuffie report and make sure you're locked in for all that free agency news. But here's what Mike Garafolo had to say, NFL Insider. The Rams have made significant progress on a contract extension with their new corner, Trent McDuffie, and the hope is a deal is done in the near future. Sources tell me and at Rapsheet, Ian Rappaport, Trent McDuffie is expected to be the new highest paid cornerback at over $30 million per season. And this lines up with everything we've been talking about with McDuffie's extension on this channel. I put out a short not too long ago, another reason why you guys should be locked in, that talked about what McDuffie's extension might look like. And my target here is a 4-year deal north of $30.5 million, hopefully not too much more than maybe 32 would be, I think, kind of the cap point that you need to get to. Obviously, he wants to clear Sauce Gardner's deal. He wants to become the highest paid corner in the NFL. I'm not uncomfortable with the Rams making him that. But at the end of the day, you don't need to go overboard. You don't need to knock the new highest price to $33 million per year. You know, I mean, like $30.5 million would be beautiful. That would be just it'd be $400,000 more annually than Sauce Gardner is making. Still a great payday for Trent McDuffie. Probably have to guarantee some $90 million of that total $120+ million. That'd be hefty guarantees. Again, a fantastic payday for him and his agents. Very much locks him up with this Rams team for the next couple of years. And that's exactly what I want to see. That is exactly what the Rams need to do, in my opinion. Because like we talked about in that video, you did not go out and trade for him. You did not give up what you gave up. A first-round draft pick, a third-round draft pick next year, and 2 day 3 picks for a 1-year rental. If it's a 1-year rental, the trade is a failure. It's as simple as that, guys. You can't give up that much value for a guy that's only going to be around for 1 year unless you win a Super Bowl. And he's a major contributor to it. He would also have to be a major contributor to it in that instance. Otherwise, I still think you could argue that that trade is a failure, even if you do bring home a ring, if he's not like a starter in that game that makes big plays. You know what I mean? Because maybe you could have gotten it done without him. But at the end of the day, I think the Rams clearly want to lock up Trent McDuffie. They want to make him an anchor point. I've used this phrase before, an anchor point of this defense. And I think he's absolutely capable of being that. And I think that's what we're going to see over the next 24 hours. I do not think it's going to be very long until this deal gets done. I think we're going to be talking again very soon. And when we are, it is going to be about a Trent McDuffie extension. So one more time, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that news in that video. But let's talk about some news that might be coming later this week, maybe tomorrow. Some free agency targets, some top names that I think the Rams should go after, starting with a few guys at the corner position, because even with Trent McDuffie in, I don't think the Rams are done adding at corner. I don't think so. They have not gotten an extension done with Kobe Durant. It does not seem likely that they're going to pick up the 5th-year option on Emmanuel Forbes' deal. Darius Williams just retired the other day. He just retired yesterday morning. We made a short out on that as well. This corner room needs reinforcements. It absolutely does. Jamel Dean is a name that we have talked about over and over again. Brings elite experience to the table. Super Bowl champion with Tampa Bay. He's got 6 seasons as a full-time starter. Elite performance in some of them, especially in 2025. I think he allowed a 42 passer rating into his coverage, 4 picks and 7 pass breakups in the last 2 seasons. This guy is disruptive. Major knocks on him. The injury history absolutely has to be a factor. He's missed time pretty much every single season. And the missed tackle rate is not insignificant. It was over 8% last 2 years. But I like a lot about Jamel Dean. As long as the money isn't over the top with him, as long as you're not committing a ton of guaranteed money for multiple years, you got to remember he would be the oldest option on this list. The kind of elder statesman of this corner room, I would like bringing in Jamel Dean. Absolutely think he could upgrade this corner room. Also an upgrade, also more of a sleeper name than Jamel Dean. Someone we haven't talked about yet on the channel. I've talked about a little bit on Twitter. Montaric Brown from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is a great player, excellent boundary corner for the Jags. Really broke out over the last couple seasons. Had a great year in 2025 as a full-time starter with 12 PBUs. A couple picks as well. Just locked it down for Jacksonville. Huge part of the reason why that team got a lot better this year. Again, you are kind of betting on 1 year of great performance versus pretty average performance in 2023 and 2024 if you bring him in. I don't think the money would be anywhere near what it is for Jamel Dean or for the guy that we're going to talk about next, but a name to keep in the back of your mind for maybe a 1 year prove-it deal. Can you continue that high of a level of performance? And then maybe the Rams or some other team might make a long-term commitment with him. I think that's the deal he's likely to get. Next up, Jaylen Watson. This one's an interesting name. I thought that the Chiefs would make a strong effort to re-sign Jaylen Watson before free agency starts. It's 5:30 on Sunday, March 8th, and that has not happened yet. Despite trading off of Trent McDuffie, this team does seem to be headed into Monday at the very least comfortable with the idea of Jaylen Watson becoming an unrestricted free agent. And if that's the case, then I think the Rams should be all over it because he and McDuffie have been very successful together. I think they could be very successful together out in Los Angeles as well with a excellent offense along the other side. Obviously, they had great offenses at times in Kansas City, and at times they won Super Bowls. This defense would be excellent if you reunited these two on the back, and in my opinion, big-time breakout year for Jaylen Watson in 2025. Best season he's had by far. It could be a major deal here. I think a couple years, probably $18 million an average annual. The Rams can afford that, but it is a major commitment to Jaylen Watson for sure. I think he might be the most expensive or at least most long-term commitment you would make because Jamel Dean, I don't think you'd commit 3 years to him. Moving on from the corner position. Couple names at that position. I think we all know that the Rams are going to look to add at least one big name free agent alongside Trent McDuffie there, even before Darius Williams retired. But I think they're also going to look to add at receiver. We heard this weekend that they were connected to A.J. Brown trade rumors recently. Clearly wanting to add in that receiver room. Rashid Shaheed could be an interesting name to watch. He's going to hit the free agency market, leaving Seattle. Huge part of their success in the playoffs, especially after they traded for him around the deadline from the New Orleans Saints, where he was an excellent deep threat for a couple of years. Shout out to my guy Trizzy, who does our Saints Now channel at Chat Sports and coined the excellent nickname, Rashid, the need for speed, Shaheed. Do the Rams have a need for speed? I think absolutely. We've seen them try to make it work with Tutu Atwell over the last couple of years, and it just really hasn't. They re-signed him to an $11 million contract extension last season, did not get anywhere near the production they were hoping for. Xavier Smith kind of had to fill that deep threat role. But I think Rashid Shaheed is a much better player than Tutu. I think he's a better player than Xavier Smith. He's a much better returner than Xavier Smith as well. Speaking of, I think he's the best returner in the NFL. We saw that at times for Seattle. We saw that against the Niners, where he takes the opening kickoff back for a touchdown that sparked that team to just an absolute, in no other terms, ass-whooping of the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round. I think they beat them, 41-6 or something like that? I can't remember the score off the top of my head, but it was destruction. It was an absolute annihilation. Pretty limited production for the Seahawks at receiver. Overall, I think that was kind of one thing that went under the radar. A lot of what he did was special teams work But I think even with that said, receiver 3 production, plus what he could offer you on special teams, Rashid Shaheed should be a name that the Rams are targeting. I think he could add a lot to this roster. Next up, Alec Pierce. This one I've seen a lot of Rams fans discuss. Colts receiver. I think props to Pierce. He's done very well with very bad help in Indianapolis. The quarterback situations there, outside of the couple games that he got with Daniel Jones this season, has been very bad. It's been a revolving door of guys, most of which have played poorly. He's found a way to be productive with pretty much all of them, especially this year when you finally gave him a productive quarterback in Daniel Jones. He really took off. Do I want to commit the kind of money that he's being reportedly offered, that he reportedly wants to get to Alec Pierce, though? I don't know. I struggle to see the Les Snead-led Rams doing something like that. I mean, maybe they would have done it with the A.J. Brown trade, although we don't know how seriously they were in those talks. I think it was maybe more exploratory than anything else. I do think they want to address receiver. I don't think they want to do it at a cost of nearly $30 million per year when they know they already have Devontae Adams on the books, and they know before the end of May, I would guess, Puka Nacua needs a new extension. You're going to get that deal done eminently. Obviously, we heard in the latest press conference from Les Snead that they're coming back around for new player extensions, or existing player extensions, at the end of April after free agency. And after the draft, I guess, as well. I could see Puka coming even before that. I mean, we heard that, and then immediately afterwards, Cam Curl and Tyler Higbee get their extension, so it was like, okay. But I think the Rams will look to get that deal done soon, and that will put you at 2 receivers on the roster with north of almost $70 million on the books. Do you want to add another one, have 3 receivers that you're paying almost $100 million annually to? It's a lot of money invested into one position. It absolutely is. Let's move on to another option here, Mike Evans. Pluses for Mike Evans, still elite. I mean, obviously this guy's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer one day. He's aging, undeniably. Injuries are a factor with him. They were a factor last season. But when he's healthy and on the field, he is still as good gets in terms of separating. He was one of the best at that last season. And he is as good as it gets when it comes to just going up and getting it. I think him and Devontae are 1 and 2 when it comes to just 50-50 ball winning. I mean, Puka's up there as well. But we know Mike Evans. We know what he offers to an NFL team. He's one of the best to ever do it at the receiver position, undeniably. The cons for him, though. What kind of a deal is he going to want? Given that, given the production, given his reputation, money's going to be significant for him. Absolutely. Is he stylistically a little too similar to Devontae to justify bringing in? I don't necessarily think that should totally lead you away from him, but it's definitely something to consider, that they might be basically the same in some way. I mean, I'm not saying they're exactly the same, but they offer you a lot of the same pluses. And at the end of the day, you do also have to consider, especially when you consider what we talked about first, which is what is this deal going to look like? He is aging, and injuries have been a factor. He's not the Mike Evans of 4 or 5 years ago. He's the Mike Evans of 2026, and you got to pay the right price for him if you are bringing him in at the end of the day. So we've talked about 6 targets here. Let's talk about my top guys. Montaric Brown, number 1. I'm not going to say number 1 target, but first guy we're going to talk about, Montaric Brown. He'd be a great pickup, I think. I don't think he's going to demand a ton of money in free agency. I think it would be relatively cost-controlled as far as corners go, and I think he is a smart investment. I would do a multi-year contract with him, let him continue his development, let him take the next step here in Los Angeles. I think he could be a great player. Jalen Watson is up there for me as well. If he does get out of Kansas City, which increasingly seems to be likely, reuniting him with Trent McDuffie would be a lot of fun. I think they had a lot of success with that in Kansas City. I think the Rams could have a lot of success with that in Los Angeles. Jamel Dean also up there as well. And then for the receivers, Rashid Shaheed, I would love to see him come in and be that receiver 3, a deep threat option, and take over the returner role, or Mike Evans. One of those two guys. I don't really want to see the Rams go after Alec Pierce at the end of the day. I think he's going to demand a lot of money. I think we should let somebody else pay him that much money. Somebody who doesn't have that much committed to the receiver position. And to be honest with you guys, I think he's probably going to New England. It seems like New England's already making a very strong push. But who the Rams sign, we will find out tomorrow. We'll begin things on Monday, and they'll be making signings over the next couple of days and realistically next couple of weeks. We will cover every single one of them here on the Rams Report by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and make sure you subscribe so you stay locked in on all the Rams news you need over the next couple of weeks. As always, let's go Rams.